Logic.
Battle started.
In today's matchup, we see another AllReasonNoLogic Discord regular, BBomb, hit the field. He's well versed in multiplayer games, but quite fresh at the 1v1s, similar to his opponent, Wennira. We have no idea how this map will go, but we are sure of just one thing, and that's only one person is going to walk away with the win. I'm Twig, and joined by Tank Tom and Pradith for some insight.
Hey guys, so this is going to be the first time that BBomb's joined us for this series. We've played plenty of Verse AI with them, so we know that both of these players are competent. They're probably not quite as familiar with the rhythm of the 1v1 game, so it'd be interesting to see what they go with and sort of how that plays out for them. This map's relatively open. There's a corridor through the middle where I'm expecting there to be a decent front, but there is plenty of alternative pathways to attack. So it'll be interesting to see whether these guys remember that they exist and if they can capitalize on those.
For those people wondering, this is Onyx Cauldron. I'm going to play that map. And both players going into Armada bots.
So we can see some ticks coming out early for both of the players, actually.
A clash of the weakest unit in the game. Weakest probably isn't the right word for it, actually. I've seen ticks do more damage than just about everything. I hate ticks.
Tank fantastically well against T3.
I was going to say, most fragile would probably be the better wording.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you can see BBomb spreading his units out across the map rather than just running through the middle, whereas Wennira's largely covered the two main pathways, and he is going to make it to BBomb's base. Looks like both of them should make it in before there's many defenses up.
Who's going to hit first?
Looks like Wennira is going to make contact first.
Although not being micro, the tick just stopping short. And that LLT
and
might get down.
Got an LLT coming up, which will stop that. Pawns coming out for Wennira.
Nice use of that drain though. Sneaking one over that little hill.
Mm. And that pawn's made it into the base, not that it's going to be able to do much, so...
Both raids nullified. We still have one tick that hasn't been seen. And, oh, we might actually see some mechs go down. Nicely done. Not quite seen. And then a quick reaction. We will get that first mech, so well worth it. Closing up that solar as well. They do not produce any energy when they're closed. So close.
Almost the second mech's going down.
Got the medal worth of the two ticks though that went out to the front line just by putting that one mechs out of action for that amount of time.
Wennira's pushing out with a strong force of pawns though. 9 pawns running out. One more rallied in the base. Lab's idle though.
A good amount of mechs being put out by Wennira, just getting that build queue going to the entire Cauldron area. Probably hoping to close that off. You can achieve early domination just by identifying your choke points, and you've got one right there as drawn on the map. Whereas the other half of the map quite open, but we do have some water preventing too many pathways to the geo at the top of the map. All mechs is worth 2.1 on this map as well, so quite good for income. Should see quite a few units produced in a short amount of time with this many points. BBomb's got to watch out for the commander there. That is enough pawns to take out a comm when you don't have enough energy to degun. This early in the game, you can see that little thunderbolt appear over the commander, identifying that there's not much energy.
This is where radars come in useful to give you that scouting information of what's coming in.
Looking at the player view, yeah, you're totally right. There is none up and one going down. As you say, that is some damage.
Wennira getting into BBomb's base. Pawns responding quickly, so it's likely to only be those couple of mexes and wind.
Good counter pawns versus pawns. We should see these defended, but they have done some damage.
In this sort of scenario, when you're pushing into someone's base, you know that those units are dead, and it's basically just a matter of how much damage they can do whilst they're there. Rocketeers are coming out for Wennira, making their way across the map. BBomb's units have intercepted those.
I do think Wennira maybe needs to get out another constructor to go and get some of those other mexes up at the same time as, and there we go, as I say that. Big blueprint put down for all those mexes, just so anyone knows you can select a constructor and hit that area mex button and drag a big circle out. Can't do it in the spectator's view, but yeah, just drag a circle out and it will capture all mexes within that circle. Wennira doing
taking advantage of those crystals, those crystals only giving a slight bit of metal and a fair bit of energy, but that's still a nice little metal income to get over time with one resbot.
And that's exactly what I was just about to say. Good use of the resbot there, getting that out onto the field and making the most of those reclaims.
Bit of counter run by here. We might see 2 more mexes going down.
It'd be definitely a good little payback for the raid earlier.
Maybe not quite the damage, but he's done it with less units.
And those units are still there, and they're going to make it into the back of Wennira's base.
I like what
Maybe
BBomb's
it's
doing. He's
basically
hiding
main
one pawn in the corner there for damage later. There is no radar that's going to quite... Oh, sorry,
There
it does
is.
capture it. It does capture it.
Yeah.
Thought it was just out of range, and he has seen that.
I had to click on him to see. I don't
There's-
like all the LLTs that's coming up with BBomb though, with the fact that the Rocketeers are on the field and BBomb knows about it.
Hmm.
They're basically just quick little speed bumps now.
BBomb expanding
once
that
those
eco through
Rocketeers-
conversion rather than going out and getting those mexes. I would love to see the island taken and pushing up this way with an extra converter, because we do see much bigger army from Wennira, and I reckon we're going to need that eco to transfer into units very shortly.
Still, BBomb has the eco advantage by about 4 metal a second, 16 to 20.
Yes.
BBomb's got the
conversion's
metal,
definitely
Wennira's
helping.
got the energy.
I'm loving
Nice
the
rating
harassment
force.
out of both players. We've got another one on the north. Perfect
Good little
timing.
raid. I actually like the raid BBomb just did when he did his demo.
Sorry, Bruticus, we're just losing you at the moment.
A
A little bit of technical difficulties there.
Overcommitting, he's pulled out.
We can see Wennira starting to dismantle these LLTs on BBomb's front. Good decision to invis that commander, because that's enough Rocketeers that at this stage of the game you can well and truly put a commander in jeopardy.
I think he's got to watch out here. The commander is invisible. Maybe he's going to go for a D-gun if this army stays clumped together like that.
Yeah, it's like 2 D guns and it's done.
Yeah, they're in a nice juicy clump at the moment. We'll see what they do with those. Wennira cleaning up that little raiding force on the top side that was left up there.
What's happening with this army next to the commander? Oh, early D-gun. We could see end of game if we don't watch out here. Getting the surround bonus. He's in trouble now.
Love to see those pawns come in to help.
6%.
It looks like he might survive this.
Oh, by the skin of his teeth.
Close
That was brilliant.
engagement.
Very nicely
Okay,
done by
definitely
BBomb, just scouting around and taking out mexes here and there. He's done it on the top, and now he's doing it through the canyon as well.
With BBomb's energy eco, it was around 500 to 700 there. He had enough energy to move and get a D gun off, so he could have moved a little bit into range to get that clump. So I was a bit disappointed with that. I'd like to see some resbots being popped out right now to get that comms health going back up, even if it's just 2.
Some more
Cleaning up
constructors
the
going down.
constructors and mexes over on that left-hand side. I'd love to see his commander move all the way back into range of his build turret so that they can heal him.
At the same time, that would take units out of production, so maybe the slow heal's the better option.
2 res bots. He's got enough build power. He's got enough metal and energy. Just pop the 2 res bots out.
A T2 transition might be seen soon, I reckon, just with that metal. He's into the 20s. Big army though. It's a lot of maces now joining the Rocketeers.
I'd love to see a surround on that army rather than grouping up his force into one blob. He could have brought half of it in behind. Decent micro from both players though.
It's keeping those Rocketeers on the edge of their damage attack range. Having those units clumped up by Wennira though, he is losing more than BBomb is, just by receiving a guaranteed damage from just about every rocket. Some grunts taken out wide for the distraction, and these Rocketeers are going to be too slow to catch them. This is going to hurt.
Commander on the way to clear those up. Nice to see that he got the conversion in that run by. And the surround coming to deal with that force on the front line. In these scenarios, you can turn your constructor around to reclaim the last little bit that's left on a unit like that.
That was a successful raid, but now quite an army going in the opposite direction. Luckily though for Wennira, it's going straight through the maces, which are going to do a lot of area damage with those plasma bullets.
And both players retreating.
Some idle units in the canyon. Mechs are staying up. That could be taken out, but no intel from either side. No one really pushing up in towards the GO either. One constructor up there could get quite a uncontested resource bonus compared to the other. And we've got that T2 transition coming out of Wennira now. Whereas BBomb on the back of that raid is just trying to recover and rebuild.
Good to see him going straight into rebuilding those wind farms that he lost.
And the resbot coming out, 1,600 metal to be reclaimed, which is going to be enough for a T2 transition. I wonder if we'll see it.
Whilst it hurts to lose those fights, it's always much nicer to lose them on your half of the map where you can get the reclaim fields.
Who do you think is going to win this, Tom, at this stage of the game? I actually cannot tell.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure.
Wennira has definitely been a lot more aggressive, but the eco is appearing in the advantage.
Fairly even.
Just that reclaim bonus that BBomb's seeing at the moment. And some nice micro, again, keeping those Rocketeers outside the range of the mace. Slightly outranging them.
Both players are doing a decent job of at least being aware of that center lane and on that left-hand side. Wennira getting some defensive unit, or having some units in there. I am sure with those, yeah, those constructors are on an area mech, so he'll most likely find those already built mexes.
Going into that little stalemate now with both commanders just focusing on eco. Sorry, no, TT lab's still going up for Wennira. A little bit of a slow one. This is where I'd like to see the T1 lab reclaimed and the metal from that put into T2 units.
We can see both players have a similar idea, some ticks and pawns from both players respectively, swinging up to that top side to come around. It looks like BBomb's going to get these units through to Wennira's base relatively undetected.
I'm still recovering from that commander snipe almost going down. It's gone full circle now and we're seeing an advantage out of the blue player. Although that T2 is going to do some damage.
Yeah, although the first unit out is a builder.
Wennira actually taking out the metal extractors over in the canyon by reclaiming them to get the full 50 metal worth of resource, but at the same time these pawns are going to come and clear those up. on a nice little scout command there by BBomb, just making sure none of those mexes are being replaced. Very good at sending units around and just constantly checking on all potential places that metal could be being produced.
Wennira should be able to see those pawns sitting up there ready to assault his base at this stage. And he's got some pawns going out that are going to clean up the ticks sitting on that northern side as well. So good map awareness from both of these players. Forces coming into clash in the middle.
Straight into welders for that T2 transition, but still building the T1 units. I think that lab needs to be turned off by Wennira. Don't know if he's realised that it's still turned on. I didn't realise that BBomb's now done the T2 transition very quickly. That would have been with all that reclaimed metal.
And that's what you like to see, making use of that reclaimed field to get to T2.
Great aggression in both players, but it's lulled off at the moment. We'll see those T2 units come out and resume likely very soon.
That offensive force that BBomb has that's been sitting within radar range looks like it's going to be largely ineffective now. LLTs and units now preventing that attack avenue. When you do send units up, you're generally better off to send them straight on in.
I think it might just be a case of send and forget.
Yeah, there is a lot to keep track of in these games.
That's where the 1 vs 1s are actually, in my opinion, a little bit more challenging than the 8 vs 8s. 8 vs 8, you get used to relying on your adjacent players to come across and defend. I'm liking this. We got some butlers sending out some compasses and smugglers for that intelligence around the field. And BBomb now being able to see that little army that's hidden at the edge of the cliff. Little does Wennira know that there's still some mexes that are claimed in that canyon. Here's an interesting tactic. We're into recluses and a path set around the back of the map by Wennira. Not much there can defend either. By the time that recluse gets there, we might see the wind farm that's currently being constructed by 2 butlers get taken straight back down. Eco advantage definitely going to BBomb though now. Massive T1 eco build there.
And expanding up to that northern side. He'll be, I expect, getting that geo once he's completed.
The good thing about these wins, rather than going into your fusion at this stage of the game, is it is harder to take them all out at once, especially if they're built like this, where there's grids of 2 wide so that they can't chain react. A little bit of aggression out of BBomb, picking on those maces, which they outrange slightly.
Nice engagement where he got plenty of damage off without having to take any. It looks like he's largely going to clean that force up. The recluse will make it into the base. And I expect that's what those units are there to hide.
Quite a good trade for BBomb here, definitely coming out on top, only losing 2 units so far. So a bit more than half of that army, and the harassment's still going.
The res bot's up in the top corner, reclaiming the mechs, reclaiming the constructor.
Cheeky shenanigans. I wonder if that gives an alert, similar to the taking damage.
I'm sure it does, but based on the fact that there was already an engagement going on, it's very difficult to identify if it's coming from somewhere else, seeing as they were fighting here and there was a small engagement up here at the same time.
First of those recluses sitting up on the hill, I think waiting for the rest to come along. And quite a sizable army of hounds coming to the middle of the map. I think Wennira needs to get back into, he's going into hounds himself.
BBomb's seen one of those recluses on his radar, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's noticed.
Well, he's
and
sending...
that, he's got recluses of his own going up that hill. So at this point, my money's probably on BBomb.
I can't see it on the radar from BBomb's view. Even though the radar hits that range, it couldn't see them. So just a little bit late on that pull by Wennira to get those spiders in there. So both players guarantee you they're not talking to each other, but they're having the exact same train of thought.
And it's good to see a nice even game where both players are making good decisions at very similar times.
The Hound's outpacing just about everything. I mean, not the lower units. This is where I'd like to see the Gauss mode turned on for these Hounds. Currently it's on the heavy plasma. They will connect with a lot more targets if the Gauss mode's on. Plasma definitely more suited for taking out those structures. Welder's doing a lot of damage, but getting surrounded and going to go down pretty quickly. Do you think BBomb might have the capacity to win this game here?
Yeah, he's now got enough to largely hold Wennira in the base.
I wonder if the defender's advantage is going to be enough. The Pitbull just about to pop up, 95%, and unfortunately the heal is going to stop that from being effective. You can see no line of sight down that hill there. Back to the other side, and we've got now a small army of recluses. I don't know if they're going to be enough to get too much damage done though. Focus is definitely on this frontline army.
And BBomb's now got enough Hounds there to largely deal with the recluses as they come over that hill. I do like that the two res bots are still sitting up there.
No one's seen them. Friendly res bots. You can see these Rocketeers
Good
just not
engagement
doing
by
enough.
Wennira on his front there. And as that's happening, the recluse look to be set to move into the base as well. Very even fight from both sides. I do like seeing the recluse going in whilst BBomb's engaged on the front. Stretching that awareness and trying to make the most of having that focus on the front line as you're moving into the back.
Nice micro by Wennira. Just trying to get these even trades, picking on units individually. Having said that, by selecting individual points on the ground, we are keeping the units grouped up, so when they do have area effect projectiles coming at them, they are going to take a lot more damage.
Good job from BBomb doing another scouting run of all those mexes on the left hand side. 7 pawns on a move command past every single mex.
Well, there's some destruction going
them
on.
up.
Those recluses are just sneaking up the back hill. BBomb currently got them out of radar now, so they've snuck around the back.
And that's a good use of those recluse, making use of those unusual move paths so that you can actually come in to those undefended sections. And I doubt we're going to see a response from BBomb until they come down the hill. Wennira doing a good job of pushing that force down through the middle.
BBomb with the definite eco advantage right now. Having said that though, has a metal storage up and currently 5,000 metal sitting in the bank, so definitely needs more build power, and that would be his way to win, I reckon. And these recluses are about to come down the hill. I reckon they're going to get their metals worth just through taking out all this wind.
BBomb pulling a very similar tactic on the left hand side as well, but my money's on Wennira's coming off.
Just sitting there though, I wonder if he'll see it. It's important, guys, to just make sure you zoom out every now and then, just to make sure your radar's not picking up anything like these spiders sitting at the back of the base.
They are showing up on BBomb's radar, but
here we go. Let's see what happens.
As they're going in. I'd love to see that middle force pushing in as well, just to split that concentration for BBomb. Fantastic use of those recluse, taking out a large portion of those wind farms.
Sniper making short work, but only the one sniper is going to take a while to take all of this out. This is going to be a devastating attack. Almost half the economy taken out already.
I
Lucky
would
those
quite
T2
happily
maxes.
lose those recluse to a sniper to take out
Yeah.
most of his economy.
You're going to send one back at the... I'd love to see him attack those converters for that chain reaction. There it goes. And that is a lot of metal gone. Suddenly a massive metal swing. Having said that, BBomb
It's
pretty much
still
even.
relatively even.
Just because of upgrading all those mixers down the right hand side of the map to T2.
And BBomb's done a good job of having multiple wind farms. So even though he lost everything that was in his core base, he still has plenty of energy generation available to him. And he's got the geo up on that top side, which will make a difference.
Hero should be sending these hounds straight in and forgetting about the army behind. Just with the number there, he's got the ability to win right now, but I think he's just trying to make sure he's got a clear path. He wants that ultimate domination. Spiders in the back of Wennira's base, about to return the favour. This is a great match.
Yeah, I can definitely understand not wanting to assault BBomb's base with a known force at your back.
I don't know if this is beyond all reason or if this is tennis. Cannot tell who's going
It
to
is
win
a
still.
very even match, and that's what we love to see. Can Wennira see those units? Yeah,
Radar
Wennira
should pick
should
that
be
up.
able to see them on the radar.
Because that sniper needs to get just in range. I don't know why
And
it's
he's
not
got
pinging at them.
a couple of recluses. Ooh, air. I missed the air transition coming through.
A good amount of spiders. Commander needs to
Wennira
worry.
coming in
Watch
with
out
the
here.
commander.
Commander losing power as well. Oh no, this could be a good game if Commander takes too much damage from those spiders. And BBomb recognising that that amount of recluses is definitely enough to take out a Commander. And oh wow, down to 11%. He needs to take no more damage. Jeez, who is going to win
Looks
this?
like
Oh no! Oh, the last bullet! The last bullet! What an ending! Just need to get that commander out of there. Holy moly!
fantastic game from both players.
Looking at the statistics, damage efficiency on Wennira's side, just with those good micros happening around the place. Metal excess, not really relevant for either player, but the metal produced and the energy you produced, definitely in the favour of BBomb. Really good at expanding out down that right hand side and continuously using those butlers to build those wind farms. So even when attacked by all those spiders, had enough eco to fall back onto and keep building those units. It was definitely anyone's game at every point of that game, just about. And bringing those players back in, guys, that was a great one to watch. We could not tell who was going to win. You guys had almost identical minds, both building spiders, both building hounds. And
I only started building spiders after I saw his.
there you go. Tom was right about that one. And such a close one at the end there, Wennira. Literally the last rocket of that spider is what killed your commander to get it over the point of losing. And I don't think it was even shooting at your commander. I think it was shooting at your construction bot that the missile missed and went beyond it and hit the commander. So very unlucky to lose that there. You had a hound army that if you sent that in at the same time, there was only about 6 units to defend BBomb's base.
Yeah, I was about to attack as well because I know
Yeah.
my spiders had absolutely ripped his economy apart.
Yeah, probably the closest
Oh,
1v1
my
match I have
economy.
seen.
My economy
you-
was fine, but you did destroy all my build power as well, which was difficult.
Really good
also
use of
know
the
I
butlers, B-bomb. Like you had the backup wind farm on the island, and you had one down next to the cliffs. So even once that eco was out and taken away, and the converters were gone, you actually had even metal at the end of that. It was neck and neck, just with the energy a little bit down.
I was struggling a lot with build power.
I will say also the reason why my hounds also won most of that was because of the ticks mixed in.
Yeah, they
I
are
did
good
see
at
those.
distracting
That was
those
a good play.
That was a good
Overall,
call.
I reckon both of you guys did a fantastic job with your engagements, your general map awareness and scaling those economies.
Probably the most back and forth I've seen in a 1v1, taking it all the way up to almost half an hour, just because there were continuous aggression and really good raids on both parts. Doing it was like a boxing match.
And I reckon that's probably
Yeah.
where we'll wrap it up.
Make sure you like and subscribe, and if you have a replay or you want to partake in one of these, just join our Discord and flick us one of us messages, and the link is down in the description below the video. We'll see you all next time.
Thanks very much.